If I was stuck at 10K to 30K a month, this is how I would build a 100K to 200K month agency in 90 days. And this would be with a small team, no connections, I have no network, and I'm working with about 3 to 5 clients currently, which I'm assuming is what you're doing right now, more or less. I could still build my agency to 100K a month in 90 days because I've already done it twice. The first time, it took me 3 years to get there, and the second time, it only took me 2 months. And the second time, that was with barely any ad spend, and I'll go over that here later. In this video, I'm just going to give you the blueprint. I'm going to take everything that's in my brain, I vomited it out into this Google Doc, and I did my best to make it organized, but I promise you that I gave it my best shot in regards to just throwing everything that I know into this Google Doc. But you're thinking, who are you? Why should I listen to you? Who's this guy with a mustache? He has like 600 subscribers. Like, who cares? So just to show you that I know what I'm talking about. And guys, I have to say this. I hate bragging, but you're just not going to trust me unless there's credibility here. I'm still running my own agency. A lot of people will get their agency to 20K a month. Oh, running an agency's hard. Here's a course on how to get your agency to 20K. I'm not doing that. I'm still in the trenches every single day. I own carbonboxmedia.com, and I also own blanket.io, and I've actually hired a CEO. And so now I actually have time to make videos like this. And during this year of 2025 alone, I've acquired an email marketing agency. We wanted to expand our services, and so we bought an email marketing agency. Also in 2025, in the beginning, January, February, we were a team of 7. Now in November, we're a team of 40, and all of our employees are full-time employees. None of them are part-time whatsoever. If we work with you, then we're working with you full-time. And to go from a team of 7 to a team of 40 is freaking insane. We almost imploded quite a few times. And again, that's what I'm going to go over in this video, is so you just don't make the same mistakes that I did. But my CAGR is about 216% year over year. That's continually going up, or at least staying at the same rate, where we're growing by 216%. And last but not least, I don't have a course to sell you. I don't have any underlying gotcha to this whatsoever. If I can coach you. If you need help with coaching, I'll charge you for my time, but that's about it. So it didn't always start like this. This may be you. You may have scaled faster. You may have scaled slower, but this is just me. I want to be super transparent with my numbers. So in 2021, I made 14K. In 2022, I made 136K. In 2023, 327K. 2024, 835K. And 2025, so far, it's November 5th right now, I'm at 1.43 million with one agency, and we're projected to hit a minimum of 2 million by the end of the year. Last month, we did around 206,000 with one agency, and then this month with that same agency, 3 days into November is when I took the screenshot. It's a little bit higher now. We're already at $102,000, and this is projected to be our biggest month ever, because we're scaling, which is super cool. Now, my second agency is doing around 90K to 100K a month. This is from October 1st to November 5th. And again, right here, around $194,000 of invoices received. But this isn't about me. And guys, I have to drop these screenshots, or again, you're just not going to trust me. I need to have credibility. And so credibility, bam. This is about you. This is about you. I know that you're listening to this and you're probably under 100K. You're probably under 200K. But this is so you can avoid the 3 years of mistakes, slow growth, ton of stress and self-doubt that I went through. You're watching this video to get speed. You're watching this video to get your time back. But if your agency's already at 300K a month, I'm stoked you're here. I'm glad you're watching my videos. Make sure to like and subscribe. But this video is not for you, because I'm currently playing the how to go from 250K to 300K a month to how to get to 500K a month. That's the game I'm playing right now. Then when I get to 500K a month, I'm going to be playing how do I get to 750K a month game. So this is where I'm currently at. And if you're below this, then this is going to be super valuable. And even if you're above this, there's still some nuggets, but you already know what you're doing. So when I get there to 500K a month, I'll actually have authority to talk about it, but I don't, because I'm not at 500K a month. And so what I do have the authority to talk about is how I would get to 100K a month, 200K a month, and now 300K a month, because I'm very, very close to hitting that, because I've actually done it and I'm still doing it. I'm in the trenches every single day. And I talked about this earlier, but I'm not a guy who shut down my agency because it was too hard and it's just easier to teach people how to grow an agency. I mean, that would just be so hypocritical. Like I'm in this every day. Like I'm up on the trends. I know what's working with my clients. I know what's working in the agency space. We've brought on like 17 engineers to help with AI. And this is just real-time value. And if I built an agency, sold it, and then told you how to build an agency, you wouldn't trust me as much. And that's just the truth. So there's 5 pillars of growth. And here's where we're getting into the juice. Here's where we're getting into the sauce. So these 5 pillars of growth include acquisition. If you have no calls, you have a dying business. Pricing and guarantees, how to close more deals, and why guarantees shouldn't scare you. I know guarantees are a huge buzzword right now, but they shouldn't scare you. They're going to help. And I'll walk you through why it's really not that risky. Onboarding and retention. The first 24 hours decide your LTV, and your LTV is where the actual money is made. Delivery and ops, you got to systemize or you're going to die. Hiring and leadership. Once you build the machine, then you got to fuel it. So let's get into acquisition, getting more calls on the calendar. So if you need more calls booked, this is my exact process on how you can book at minimum an additional 30 to 90 extra qualified calls a month. And I'm just telling you this because this is what I'm doing right now. And so let's go in to Figma. So this is my acquisition process, and this is what you should be doing as well. Acquisition. The goal of this, book 30 to 90 calls a month. This all starts with your offer. And my offer right now is I'll get you better results on your current ads in 30 days or less, or you don't pay. So the offer right here is the basis of everything. This is going to allow somebody to be attracted to this offer to get them to book a call with you. And everything, whether it's organic, cold outreach, ads, or referrals, they're all going to lead back to the landing page that showcases you solve their exact problem. And the landing page is going to have client testimonials, case studies, and a guarantee. If you don't have any of these, this is your priority. Get these before you focus on acquisition. This is going to lubricate sales in a way you have no idea. So please get client testimonials, have them hop on a Zoom call with you, ask about their experience working with you, get some referrals, get some clients that love you that you can say like, hey, Bob, I know you want to work with me. Go talk to John because John's worked with me. But this is all going to be on the landing page. If you want to see a good landing page, check out carbonboxmedia.com. It's literally just infinite scrolling of results we get and client testimonials. And then the CTA, the only button somebody can touch here is book a call with you. They can't do anything else. There's no about us section. There's no bullshit. It's just book a call, results, 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 book a call, results, 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 book a call. So let's start with organic. Now, this isn't going to be your big money maker in the beginning, but what I want you to do is just write daily posts where your clients live. And this could literally just be you talking about what you did for the day. But pick one and cross-pollinate. So if you like writing, pick LinkedIn and then pollinate that into Twitter. One LinkedIn post is like 3 to 5 tweets. One YouTube video is like 5 to 6 reels. And this reels is Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. But just pick one and then hire some like VA or some cheap editor to edit these and post on the other platforms. But this is a long-term strategy, and it's not going to be where majority of your book calls are coming from. This is more so to lubricate the sales process. So when count how many times I say lubricate, by the way. This is to, again, lubricate the sales process. So when your prospect stalks you, you emailed them, they saw one of your ads, they check you out. It basically reinforces that you know your shit. And if you keep at it, this is where a majority of your sales calls come from. So I can't stress how important it is to post daily because you're going to grow. It's going to be slow, but you are going to grow. And so short term, think it's going to be, validating that you know your shit. Long term, this is going to be where majority of your sales calls come from. But for right now, you're under 100K a month, so I'm assuming it's not organic content that's booking you the calls. Cold outreach. Always outsource this. Do not try and build this internally yet. You have higher leverage stuff that you need to focus on. And I'll go into what higher leverage activity actually is, but you need to build the business. You need to hire the right employees. You need to build the SOPs, that you need to make sure that you're actually delivering a high quality service. Once you're at about 200K a month, it's time to build this out yourself. But look, I'm an agency owner. I'm working with brands that are spending $1 million a month. They're still working with an agency and they haven't built anything internally. And so this, pretend this is in italicized font, put this with a grain of salt. You may not need to build this yourself because there's just huge brands that continue to work with agencies. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Again, focus on sales, content delivery, upsells, getting testimonials, not outreach. Outsource this. Hire a vendor. And if you check your DMs, your email, your LinkedIn, your social media, pause this video, go to your email, your business email, or go to where you're most active in regards to client acquisition or just communicating the service you do. And I guarantee you, if you take 2 minutes, you'll find somebody that says, hey, John, hey, Maria, I'll guarantee you X book calls in Y time period, or I'll refund you Z. A lot of you guys are going to skip right through this. This is silly. Do not skip through this. Book a call with this person. And on the call, you're going to reinforce that they have a guarantee, which is exactly what they use to reach out to you. And this could be like, hey man, I'll build you an acquisition system that books you X calls, and if it doesn't deliver, then you don't pay a thing. That's what you're going to want to look for. But just to get a little bit more granular, once you're on the call with them, if they have a bad guarantee, and a bad guarantee is like, I'll book you 30 calls and I'll work for free until I do. That's not very good, because I've worked with probably 50 to 60 vendors over the past 3 years, 30 within the past year. Work for free basically just means like, oh, I tried it, it didn't work. Thanks for the first month invoice. I'll keep doing my best. Well, it's already not working, so I don't really care that you're doing it for free. I want this to work. And a good guarantee is something along the lines of $1,500 to $2,000 setup fee. This is for them to warm up email domains. And then they're also going to charge you like $150 to $250 per qualified call. And the guarantee is, if you don't book me 30 qualified calls in 60 days, I get a refund of the setup fee. And during that time, I'm happy to pay for the qualified calls no matter what. So just for example, like if he books me 20 calls in 60 days or 15 calls, qualified calls in 60 days, I'm still going to pay for those calls, because those are qualified calls, and I would pay for those qualified calls, whether it's ads or cold email or whatever, regardless. But what qualified actually means is that it's actually your ICP. They show up to the call. They have the revenue requirements. I spelt that incorrectly, but it's actually somebody you can serve. And in order for this vendor to reach out to the right prospects, you're going to need to send them your testimonials, case studies, guarantee if you have one, just like who exactly you help. I help golf brands, I help dog brands, whatever. Now, a hack here is pay these vendors with a 0% APY credit card. And I have 2 Amex cards that are designed exactly for this purpose, where I don't have to pay them off for the first year. And I made a video about this, but I'm not saying stack up a bunch of credit card debt. What I am saying is that if you pay them with these cards that have 0% APY, then you can, and I think you'll have like with these 2 cards, like a 5K limit. You can hire like 5 to 7 vendors at a time. And if it doesn't work out, you just ask for the refund. And if they don't give you the refund, then you just submit an appeal with your credit card company, and they're going to refund you 99% of the time. If you do ask for the refund and they give you the refund, no harm, no foul. Right? That's great. If it does work out, then great. You just found another profitable acquisition channel, and you could just ask them like, hey, I'm glad this worked for our relationship. Just send more emails. Just send more DMs. Just do whatever your acquisition process. One of the weirdest vendors I worked with was he would send PayPal DMs where he would send 1 cent to their PayPal, and in the message of what the payment was for would be the outreach message. Super, super creative. Did not work out at all, but creative nonetheless. And just to go over some math on why this maths, it's one of the most risk-free ways to scale. So going back to the example that I used above, $1,500 to $2,000 setup fee plus $150 to $250 per qualified call. If you don't book me 30 calls in 60 days, I get a refund of the setup fee. Still happy to pay for the qualified calls no matter what. If I book 5 qualified calls at $200, that's $1,000 that I paid. If I have a 20% closing rate, which is industry standard, and you may be thinking, 20%, my closing rate's 60%. Great. The average closing rate is about 20%, and that's what you should be shooting for. And if you have a closing rate of 60%, you're probably charging too less. Pricing. If you're charging $3K a month, just for example, that's like $2,500, $3K is like industry standard. It then costs you $1,000 to make $3,000 in revenue at a $2,000 profit. And if they only book you, let's just say 20 calls out of 30 calls, you can still request a refund from this vendor. So you're basically you pay $4,000 for 20 qualified calls. You have a 20% closing rate, then you're collecting 8K, 10K, 12K, 14K, and you spent 2K. It's just the most logical thing that makes sense. Like, just tell them to spend more money. And if they don't work, then you just get a refund and you find somebody else. I've hired 30 vendors in the past year, and now I'm down to 2 because only 2 have kicked ass for me consistently. It's just part of the game, and it's just a numbers, more at bats, give more people opportunity. And if they only book you, if the guarantee is 30 calls in 60 days and they only book you 20 calls, then like be smart about this. Don't be a dick. Like 20 calls in 60 days is still pretty good. You may not want to burn a relationship with a good vendor because they only booked you like 28 out of the 30 calls. Like, well, you only booked me 28, so I'm going to need that guarantee. You could, but now this vendor's going to be like, all right, fuck, that sucks. The goal here is to find quality outreach vendors. It's not to collect a guarantee. You're not here for the guarantee. The only reason you asking about the guarantee is because you're looking to scale your client acquisition at a risk-free rate. You're not here to collect guarantees. I can't stress that enough. And at the same time, it's like fucking duh, you know? So goal here is to find quality outreach vendors so you can scale profitably and only have to pay for qualified calls, which you're going to have to pay for qualified calls no matter if you build the system internally, you run ads, you do outreach. You're going to have to pay with either time, money, softwares, whatever you're using. And again, this, in my opinion, is the best, most cost-efficient way to scale without a shadow of a doubt. So the next one is ads. And I wouldn't even start with ads unless you have 3K of cash flow that you're just ready to burn. I'm just being real with you. Ads can work in the beginning, but they also can't work in the beginning. But it basically, with this 3K, it gives you enough budget to see if the market is going to be receptive to your offer and your service or not. And so with this, have a clear call out in your creatives. Running meta ads isn't hard. And if you're an agency, I'm sure you've done something with meta. But the call out is like, I help X do Y in Z time or guarantee. That's it. So if you're seeing around a $500 CPA or above with a 3K budget, then what you need to do is fix offer, call out, or creative. You're not calling out the right audience, your offer's not resonating, or your creative just sucks. From there, you should be getting a $100 to $300 CPA. If you're still getting a $500 CPA, then just consistently go down this cycle until you figure it out. If you are getting that $100 to $300 CPA and your callers aren't qualified, and this would be like 50% or more aren't qualified, then fix your offer, call out, or creative again. You're just targeting the wrong audience. Or add like a form that's maybe a little bit more difficult for them to fill out. Your CPA is going to go up, but if it means more qualified calls, you can do the math to see if that is actually profitable for you or not. But if the calls are qualified, then you just scale spend. And when you scale spend, that means you need to focus on getting more creative. And that also means you need to potentially hire a salesman so you can focus on, again, higher leverage activity. So that's ads, pretty straightforward. Again, make sure you have at least 3K a month of just cash flow that you're ready to lose, that you're ready to burn. This is an investment and it's going to take a while. I hit the lottery with my second agency because I have a really, really good offer in a super lucrative market, but I got lucky. If I run meta ads, you're going to get like a $900 CPA and you're just going to get the worst quality calls ever. So make sure you're being specific. And last, referrals. So this is going to be your best clients ever. My best clients ever have all been referrals. They've all been clients that I've worked with that referred me their friend, and they already trust me. And now, we have a great LTV and a great relationship. So with referrals, you want to make it worth it for them to refer you. You're not just going to get a referral out of the goodness of your client's heart unless you ask. You will sometimes. It's happened to us, but you need to make it worth it for them. And that could be reaching out to your legacy clients. And we call legacy clients somebody that's worked with us for over 3 months. That's enough time for them to build trust, for us to build trust with them. And then you just send them a message like, look, I'll give you next month invoice free, $500 check deposited right into your bank account. If you want to go crazy, you can make this $2,000, $3,000. If you want to be a little silly, I could give you a gift card to your favorite restaurant. But just get creative. I don't really know your industry because you're the one watching this YouTube video, but get creative on how you can encourage them to send their friend that owns a business in a similar space that you serve. And if you send me a client that you think could use our help, that's it. Like, do you have any friends or any business network or any people in your business network that could use our service? When you ask for a referral, be smart about this. If the results aren't great, probably not a good time. Like, hey, I know you don't like working with me, but do you have any friends that you'd want to refer me to? It's like, what the fuck? You're never going to get anything. But if the results aren't great, wait until they are and focus on retaining the client. If results are great and the client is happy, now is the time to ask. And before you ask for a referral, I'm going to drop a gem here. Ask for a testimonial when results are the highest. So easy example. Before us, you were getting a 3x on ad spend, 3x return on ad spend. After us, you're getting a 7x return on ad spend. You're happy. You dropped a cool message in Slack like, I've never gotten results like this, or CBM team is kicking ass. I love working with you guys. Ask for like hey, Melissa, would you be open to hopping on a testimonial call? I'd love to just interview you, ask you 3 or 4 questions. It'll take 5 minutes of your time. 9 out of 10 times, they'll say yes. Then on the testimonial call, after they've done that, you then ask for a referral. Hey, John, super appreciative you did this testimonial. By the way, if you have any friends that could use this service, like we're looking to take on 2 more clients in the month of January. So just wanted to throw that out there. And if you send anybody, like, dude, I'll take off, 50% of your next month invoice. Strike while the iron's hot and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. A testimonial is going to help you sign 10 extra clients, and a referral is going to only be 1 extra client. And that's why I always focus on the testimonial first before we get into the referral. Always get a testimonial because you're consistently going to be doing outreach. You're consistently running ads, doing cold outreach, posting on organic. And the more testimonials that basically say like, hey, market, I know my shit and I could help you out if you're in this industry. It's, again, lubricate. It's going to lubricate your sales process so much easier. And with cold outreach, if you have another testimonial, then it's just more fuel to the fire. So this is acquisition. If you just follow this stuff, especially the cold outreach, I think this is where the big juice is. The big juice. This is where the big value is. You're going to sign more deals and you're going to book at least 30 to 90 calls a month. And like with these vendors, like hire 5 at a time. 4 of them are going to suck. 1's going to be great. It's just the game that we're playing. So cool. That's acquisition. Now let's get into pricing, sales, and guarantees. This is how to close more deals. You've booked calls. That's great. How do you close those deals? And why guarantees shouldn't scare you. Based on how many calls you're getting, you need to price yourself accordingly. Again, if you're booking 90 calls a month and you have a 60% closing rate, you're probably, and these calls are qualified, you're charging way too less. Shoot for a 20% closing rate. If you're under 300K a month, and I'm raising this to 500K a month, but if you're under 500K a month, then you need even $1 million a month. This should just always be the goal. You need to be acquiring clients at a profitable rate, or it's going to be incredibly hard to scale. If you have a big infrastructure, where I'm getting at, where you need to be over X, is you can play the CAC to LTV game, where it may cost you, if you're pricing your service at 3K, it may cost you 3K to get that client to pay their first invoice, so you're break even month 1. But if you know that their LTV is 6 months to 8 months, then you can play the CAC to LTV game all freaking day. But in the beginning, and again, always want to shoot for this, you want to be trying to acquire those customers at a profitable rate, month over month on net sale. You want to be profitable. Not only that, but you need to have some sort of differentiator to distinguish yourself from the competition. And I want you to pause the video and really ask yourself why you're not just another media buying, AI systems, chatbot, lead gen, et cetera, like all the big agencies. What makes you different? Seriously, what makes you different? And I know you probably hop on sales calls all the time where it's like, well, I'm talking to 3 agencies. What makes you different? And I'm sure you have some sort of answer, but answer it for yourself. Don't give it a salesy answer. Don't give it a client answer. Answer this for yourself. What actually makes you different? If you're having trouble answering that, then differentiators could be industry specific. You have a ton of case studies in X industry. You specialize in helping B2B office cleaning companies close more buildings to clean. A guarantee or offer. We guarantee success or XYZ. This could be work for free, which I fucking hate, but it works. This could be work for free. This could be we'll refund you the first month service fee. This could be we'll credit you a free month. Think about some sort of guarantee, but the more the guarantee scares you, the more resonant it's going to be with the people that are booking calls. And then the last one, any celebrity brands. And this is probably the hardest to get, but once you get it, it's so nice. It just helps with sales so much. Have you worked with any brands or companies that everybody knows? Oh, we've worked with Kylie Jenner's company. Oh, we worked with The Rock's company. Or, oh, we worked with Enterprise, or just a company that everybody would know. That's immediately going to be like, whoa, okay, these guys know their stuff. It's best to have all of these, but you need to have at least 2. So think industry specific plus guarantee, celebrity brand plus guarantee. If you have a celebrity brand, you'll have all 3, but guarantee plus industry. This is going to help you stand out in a world where these business owners are getting hit up 30 times a day. It just will. But you may be thinking to yourself, Jordan, I'm above guarantees. I don't have them because I deliver an excellent service. Well, then great. You have nothing to worry about because you deliver an excellent service. So if you have a guarantee, what's the problem? You may also be thinking, Jordan, guarantees are kind of terrifying. and I'm unsure if I can actually deliver on my promise. And number one, make sure that you actually deliver a quality service. And number two, like, I get it, guarantees are scary, and this is no matter how big of a company you are. Like, you need to be making money as a business, and you're giving away time, you're giving away your service to get paid. You're not here to do this for free. That's why you created this agency. That's why you created this service. Let's do some math really quick so I can just prove to you that guarantees aren't as scary as you think they are. So this is our current offer. We get you better results on your current ads in 30 days or less, or you don't pay. This has been our offer for the past 2 years. It's done pretty well for us. We're experimenting with other offers, but this is what's working right now. This books us around 80 to 100 qualified calls a month. We have a 20% closing rate, which means we have 20 closed calls a month, 20 new clients coming on. 50% of these calls don't even ask about the guarantee on the call, because on the sales call, we're just providing so much value, we're providing so much input on how to grow their business that they just want to work with us and they don't really care about the guarantee, or we provided so much value that they just forget to ask about the guarantee because they just want to work with us. Now, the other 50% are only here because of the guarantees. Like, yeah, well, you said you had a guarantee, so what? What do you do? Oh, those sales calls are fun. But if only 10 out of the 20 clients you closed actually ask about the guarantee, then this is what we do. You have to apply this to your situation. But if they ask about the guarantee, we then audit their account to see if we can actually deliver for them. If yes, then we go over the audit on a follow-up call, and if things are aligned, we send them the contract that includes the money-back guarantee. And 8 out of 10 times, we're going to nail it. The client's stoked with our work. But the other 2 out of 10 special butterfly, snowflake, mermaid, princess clients will ask for a refund. And guess what? You're going to give it to them. What? How could this be? I just worked for 30 days for free, or even at cost, because I have to pay my team. Well, yeah, guys, welcome to business. Welcome to the cost of doing business. And these 2 out of 10 clients are going to leave you for 2 reasons. Number one, it's because you delivered a shitty service, which they have every right to ask for that refund because you didn't deliver on the promise. And you could do one of 2 things. Number one, you could give them the refund, shake hands, wish them the best, and, no harm, no foul. We're still, on obedient terms, but I'm not going to work with you anymore. And B, you can just ask to credit the first month's service into the second month so you can get a second shot at delivering good results, and you still get to keep the upfront cash from month 1. So if by month 1 you deliver an okay service, not the best service, but it takes time to get XYZ results because we were doing Y, we were rebuilding a landing page, we needed to construct an offer, whatever it is, then you can still keep the cash. You're not going to be as profitable as you were if you got invoiced 2 months, but you get to keep the cash and give it another shot. And again, you have to play this case by case. It's not going to make sense with every brand, but it's a way for you to keep the money and again, give yourself another shot. That's 1 out of the 10 people that ask for a refund. The other 1 out of 10 people, we're going to ask you for the refund regardless. And if it's this guy, then you just dodged a bullet, and you should be thanking God above that you don't have to work with this person, because this person right here that was going to ask you for the refund regardless, the 80-20 rule where 20% of your clients cause 80% of your problems. This is that guy. This is that girl. This is the person that's going to cause you all of your fucking issues. And they were going to ask for the refund. Like if you got them from a 3X to a 5X, well, a 5X, I was actually looking for a 6X. They're going to micromanage you. They're going to be a pain in the ass. Just refund them, shake hands, and then thank God that you're not working with this person, because they're going to be a nightmare. But anyway, back to math and why this maths. So if I'm charging $2,500 a month for my service and I sign 10 clients that all want the guarantee, which by the way, I already signed 10 clients that didn't even ask for the guarantee, but this is for the 10 that did ask for the guarantee. 10 clients signed equals 25 cash collected. 2 clients refunded equals negative 5K cash refunded. Cost of 10 book calls at a $200 cost per book call is negative 2K. That means I profited 18K. So what's the issue here? What's really wrong with profiting 18K? I spent 7K to make 25K. That's over a 4X return on ad spend. Well, you're not even spending any money on ads. That's over a 4X ROI. Where's the issue? And if you're truly confident that you can deliver a great service, this is why you have the guarantee. It's going to lubricate lubricate the sales process, differentiate you from the market, allow you to book more sales calls, and it makes you run a tight ship because you're literally putting a fire under the ass of your entire team to get good results. To me, this is a great success. This makes sense every single time. And if it doesn't make sense and you're getting 10 out of 10 people asking for a refund, then you just need to revamp your service, brother. You just need to deliver a better quality service. So this brings me on to pillar number 3, onboarding and retention. The first 24 hours decide the LTV of your client. So we're going to be talking about onboarding right now. But since you're here, I'm going to go over the exact onboarding process that has allowed me to increase our LTV, by me is our team, increase our LTV by 6 months. Now I don't have to worry about what next month's revenue is going to look like. It's because I have a predictable retention flow where I don't have to sign myself into profitability month over month, which is a nightmare. I've had to do that in the past. But again, onboarding is where LTV begins. So let's take a look at our Figma. So this onboarding process makes me around $250K a month. And if you signed a client, great. Now it's time to actually keep them. And this is all with the understanding that you already deliver a great service. I can't stress that enough. Everything here is under the guise that you deliver a great service. And so you sign a client, the next 24 hours, your client is thinking, what the fuck did I just do? Did I just make this ginormous mistake? I just got sold by this mustache salesman. I'm worried. I'm nervous. He sounded like he knows what he's doing. He sent me a bunch of testimonials. I talked to some of his clients. He audited my account, but did I just make a mistake? He's had success with other brands. What makes me think he's going to have success with mine? You need to do everything in your power to ensure that they feel as warm and cozy as possible. Do you remember your first day of school? You remember how you walk in the building, you don't know where your friends are, you don't know where your classes are, you don't know who your teachers are. Remember how nervous and uneasy you felt? Now flip the script, go to your last day of school. You felt like the man, you felt like king or queen of the world. You knew where all your classes were, you could get there with your eyes closed, you had all your friends, your group of friends, maybe multiple group of friends. You need to get your client as close to that last day of school feeling as possible. And if you can treat your client like they're always being onboarded, like they're always a prospect, like you could lose them at any time, I can practically guarantee you that you'll have a significantly higher LTV, which equates to making a whole lot more money. So this is our warm and cozy onboarding process. So we always have the contract signed and the invoice paid before they get the keys to the castle. It's just company policy. I am company. It's my policy. 99% of the time, we're not going to onboard them unless we have an invoice paid. And you should do the same. But I know everybody's different and at a different stage. As soon as they are onboarded, you're going to let your team know via Slack. If you're using Slack, do Slack, Discord, Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever you're using. Let your team know as soon as possible. Let them know the client pain points, the client expectations, needs, and concerns, what was discussed on the actual sales call, what the client signed up for, and what they're paying. Now, this is important so you can have your team calculate the ROI. If they're paying you 10 grand a month, then you need to make them over 10 grand a month or they're going to drop you. It's just the truth. Duh. A link to the summarized sales call transcript. Gemini has this. We use, I think, Fireflies. Just copy paste transcript. It summarizes what was talked about. It gives the delivery team some context as to what it is that you actually close them on and what the pain points are. Also talk about who's managing the account. A huge hack here is we obviously do media buying, email, SMS, content creation, Meta, Google, YouTube, pretty much everything but Amazon. And we always have the person who audited the account be the account manager and do the onboarding. So our sales process is discovery call, audit the account in between, our follow-up call. So there's a 2-call close process where we present the audit on the closing call. And this is really great because the person performing the audit is building trust with the client. They're telling the client exactly what they're going to do to fix the account. And what sucks is you don't want to transfer the client, because this is the industry standard, to 3 to 4 different people, because your report or that warm and cozy feeling, or your rapport is going to go down by 33% with every person you transfer them to. Now, you may be thinking, Jordan, where did you get this 33% number? From my ass. But it's so fucking true. I have no data to back this up other than my hunch and being in this space for 4 years and I'm working with hundreds of clients. It sucks to get sold by the salesman, pass to the onboarding specialist, then pass to the account manager, then pass to somebody else. This is the agency norm, and it sucks. It's really, really bad. You know the game Telephone? Telephone is, it's like 6 of your friends. you have one sentence, I start it, and I whisper that sentence into this guy. And then he whispers it to his friend, then he whispers it to his friend, then he whispers it to his friend, then he whispers it. And then by the time you get to the sixth, seventh person, it's a totally different sentence. That's exactly what's happening when the salesman transfers this person to here, to here, to here. You're losing 33% of rapport with every person you transfer them to. And if you transfer them to 3 different people, then, and if that's how you work, then good luck communicating what was talked about on the sales call directly to every single person. But if you transfer them to 3 people, you're going to lose a client. It's going to be a shitty onboarding process, and it's a horrible way to start the relationship. So what we've done is we just have the salesman and the account manager. And in a perfect world, I would just have the salesman manage the accounts, because that's the person that initially built the rapport with the client. But I can't, because I'm a big fan of having one person do one thing 100% well rather than spreading their focus too thin. But anyway, so that's why we have the account manager both on the sales calls along with the salesman, is because this is who's going to build rapport with the person, and the client understands exactly who they're going to be working with. Cool. Now, have the team join the client's Slack channel, whatever you're using, just have like a client Slack channel. Before you invite the client, have each team member drop a personal voice note or a video introducing themselves. When the client walks into your house, they should immediately be celebrated. And I dropped this clip from this old show called Cheers, but there's this guy, Norm, and every time Norm walks into the bar erupts. Norm, how are you, buddy? What's going on, man? And if you've ever gone home for the holidays, or you've ever seen like an old friend, or you're at like you pass by somebody that you like haven't talked to for 3 years, but they used to be a good friend, and you're like, Drew, Larry, Leah, Lucy, what's up? That reaction, that warmth, that's what your client needs to feel. We are so stoked to have you here, and we are so welcoming. Welcome to the show, welcome to our house, welcome to the party, let's kick some ass. And you really need to have that like wow factor when they come into your house, right? So that's let your team know via Slack. Then on the onboarding email, again, post-close, you send an email with your entire team that's going to be working with them CC'd in the email, and you introduce them on the email. If the client has not met them, you introduce them. Reminders of how great the call was. This is going to be 2 to 3 standout points. It's like, oh, I love that you live in Miami. My best friend's living there right now. Or, oh, you're in South Florida. I hope, like, praying for you in the hurricane right now. Or like, oh, I know that, we talked about F1, NASCAR, football, baseball, whatever, like let's go Blue Jays, something that's personal and stand out, like whatever was talked about on the call. A salesman will drop this, and that's the person that's building rapport. A link to schedule kickoff call. Here's a hack. Only allow bookings for max of 72 hours. If we have a client, like the goal is to get live as soon as possible. You don't want to have somebody pay and then it takes you 2 weeks to go live. And I'm sure you have some sort of onboarding process where it involves an onboarding call, and you want to get this going as fast as possible. So please do not delay this. And to make their life easier, drop like 3 time zones within that 72-hour period. It's like, I closed you on Thursday. Does Friday at 8 a.m. PST work with you? Or does Monday at 12 p.m. PST work with you? The goal here is to make their life easier, not harder with the onboarding process. Like if you have to make them go through all these different hoops just to hop on a call with you, it's going to just suck for them, and it's going to make the onboarding process miserable. So include the link. Also, who you're going to be talking to on the onboarding call. If you're smart, this is the person who's performed the audit. Also, link to join the Slack channel and fill out the onboarding form. So you've already had the team send their intro messages. This is a video. Discord has it. Did I talk about this? Hold on, I don't think I talked about this. So I did talk about this. Okay, I did talk. Sorry, it's a long video, guys. But already have the team's videos sent. Again, going back to the Cheers reference, if they join the Slack channel and bam, what's up? Welcome. Great to have you here. Do you know how far that's going to go? Very far. Very, very far. So make sure that your team has sent those messages before you invite the prospect. If your team's slacking, then just talk to your team. Hey, Maria, I need you to send that video. But I've told my team, like, look, if you're working on anything and you see a new client has been onboarded, pause what you're doing, go send a 2-minute video, resume what you're doing. Like, that's how important this is. And then in the email, again, just to make their life easier, like include a step-by-step structure of how the onboarding is going to work. This is what step 1 looks like. This is what step 5 looks like. And once we complete step 1 through 5, we're going to be done and we're going to be live. This is a banger. Steal this. Ask them for their address so you can send them a gift, and have the gift include a personal card and something nice. And this tiny $100 cost, which is what it's going to cost you like $100. It's going to be one of the most high ROI investments you ever make. I've worked with 50 agencies. I've received a gift once. I'm still working with that agency. Correlation, causation? Like, is that why I'm still working with them? No. But I'm always going to remember, oh, they sent me this. That was so nice of them. Cool. They must really care about my business. If you can increase LTV by 3 months because you sent them a gift and that cost you $100, do it. On to once the client is in Slack or Discord, WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever you're using. Client's already going to be greeted by those videos. The team is going to be talking about what was discussed on the sales call. What you don't want to have happen is the salesmen say, we can get you a 5x increase in 1 week. And then they hop on the call with the onboarding specialist, and the onboarding specialist is like, what are you talking about? We can get you that 5x increase. It's just going to take a month and a half. Then the client's already pissed off. And I get the idea that the salesman wants to earn their commission, but the salesman and the delivery have to match. And so whatever was talked about on the sales call, and again, hopefully you have the account manager and the salesman on the call, it has to line up. It has to line up. You don't want to set up unrealistic expectations. Everybody says this right now, but I can't stress how important it is. You want to under-promise, over-deliver. You don't want to over-promise and under-deliver. And that starts with what is being discussed on the sales calls. But once you're in there, then you just want to reinforce like, hey, I know exactly what was talked about. It sucks to hop on an onboarding call and have that be like a sales part 2. It's like, why'd you get into this industry? What are your pain points? The prospects can be like, I just talked to John on the sales call about all this. You know nothing about my brand? So you want to make sure that the onboarding person knows what they're actually talking about. Re-include the onboarding scheduler, times to meet, and the onboarding form in the Slack. Whatever you send with that onboarding email, just copy paste that, and on the top say, hey, prospect, I already sent you this onboarding email, but just in case you missed it, I wanted to drop it here. Copy paste. This is the most important part of the entire video. This is more important than GIFs. This is more important than sending flashy videos. It's getting the client to respond. I can't tell you how many times, because our primary source of communication is Slack. Can't tell you how many times, oh, I don't like using Slack, or oh, Slack's hard for me, or I'd rather communicate via email. Do you guys have WhatsApp? Do you guys use Telegram? If you can get the client in Slack and you can get them to respond, you're setting up the expectation that you only communicate in Slack. And this is going to be talked about on the sales call. This is going to be talked about on the onboarding call. But you need to train your client to be a good client. And I know that sounds very good boy sit, here's a treat, but it's true. They're in your house and we're happy to have you here, but this is how shit gets done in our house. And you don't want, it's going to be a mess. And I'm saying this with such power behind it is because we've had clients where some of them are on text, some of them are on WhatsApp, some of them are on Telegram, some of them are on email, some of them are on Slack. It's a fucking mess. Have one organization of communication and one channel only. And if you lay out clear expectations that you only communicate here in your one channel of preference, then just making sure that they're actually in that channel is astronomically important. So get them to respond in Slack. If you can get them to respond, think about sales. If they reply to your drip sequence, they have a higher show up rate. Same here. If you can get them to reply in Slack, they're going to use Slack more. So getting them to reply is huge. Huge, huge, huge. And that's pretty much it for once the client is in Slack. Now let's talk about the onboarding call. I touched on this a little bit, but have the onboarding specialist, it's the account manager, have the person conducting the onboarding call show up 2 minutes early. Have a drip sequence to remind them to show up. This doesn't have to be super like 6 reminders. It's just like calls in 24 hours, calls in 1 hour. It's going to be an email and a text. So on that onboarding call, ask, did you get access to everything okay? Did you meet the team via Slack? Did you fill out the onboarding form? Reinforce to get them into Slack. And if they fill out the onboarding form on the call, you're just going to have before the call, you're going to have a much more productive onboarding process. But if they're not in Slack, they haven't met anybody on the team, now is your chance to get them in Slack. And once they're in Slack, bam, again, you have all these welcome videos and voice messages. Then you go over what was discussed on the sales call. Again, I touched on this, but just make sure what you're talking about on the onboarding call isn't regurgitating questions that were already asked on the sales call. You want to be reinforcing that you know exactly what was talked on the sales call. So you're speeding up the process. You're not going 2 steps back to move 5 steps forward. You're just starting on that first step. And then expectations. I talked about this with Slack, but this is your chance to set the tone. And this is the frame of what working with my team, this is what our relationship is going to look like. This is our launch date. This is how we do reporting. This is our communication cadence. This is our hours of ops. We're open from 5 a.m. Eastern till 5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to set up weekly calls. What times work with you? And again, you want to educate your client on how to be a good client because it's just going to make your life easier. And if they can be a good client, then you're going to be able to deliver better results because you're not having to chase them on multiple communication platforms or make sure that they're actually responding in a timely manner or that you actually have access to what you need. And if you can just get them to follow this process, you're going to deliver better results because you don't have to focus on bullshit that you shouldn't be focusing on. Get access to all your necessary assets, answer any additional questions they may have, set deadline of when campaigns will be live. And a quick hack here is book a follow-up call a day before everything is live. So we do ads, and what we do is we'll book a follow-up call a day before going live, and we'll just say like, hey, it's a 5-minute call. I just want to go over everything, make sure we get the green light from you. 8 out of 10 times we'll be like, yep, run it, looks good. 2 out of 10 times we'll be like, okay, I like this, but I just need this copy changed, or I just need this little edit done here. And if you can get that done before going live, that is going to save you so many problems. You do not want to go live with a campaign without the client's permission. And if the client doesn't really know what they're talking about and they're like, well, those actually aren't my brand colors, and then that gives you the opportunity to say, well, look, we've tried these types of campaigns in the past before, and you hired us to do something different. So we could do this, but it's not going to get you the results that we want to get you. So this is a great time for you to re-educate your client before launch. And then if you do launch the campaigns, you already have the green light approval from them, then you're going to avoid the 2 weeks down the road. Why is this particular ad being ran? It's going to save you headache, and it's going to build trust. So once you're 2 months, 3 months into your relationship, they're just like, yeah, I trust these guys. They're doing the right thing. Go get them. Okay, you signed a client. This is where you keep your client. So campaigns are launched. You announce that shit. You let the whole team know. You let the prospect know we are live. Typically, it takes 7 days for us to go live. It took us 3 days to go live with your brand. And then you want the team reacting, celebrating, dropping fire emojis, smiley faces, the celebrating emoji that you just launched the campaign. And it's a little thing, but just like what I said, if you educate the client, it normally takes us 7 days to be live, and we can be live within 3 days. And that makes them feel special. That makes them feel like, oh, fuck, I'm getting special attention to my account. Awesome. And then if the team celebrates it, then that just shows like the company culture we have where we celebrate wins. We celebrate progress. And then speaking of wins, you're going to want to find those wins pretty quickly. And this could be your first lead, higher ROAS than before, lower CPA. Out of all the ads performing, this is the best performing ad. But literally just anything that you can showcase like, hey, this is working. And you want to be careful here. You don't want to unintentionally set up unrealistic expectations where if they got a 2x return on ad spend with like 100K a month in spend, and we come in and we bring that up to like a 3.5, but we have one campaign that's getting a 7x. You don't want to say we're at a 7x with your account, because then they're going to expect a 7x month over month, and that's just not realistic. So what you would want to say is like, hey, this particular ad is at a 7x already. Super, super stoked. It's awesome to find early wins like this. Let's see what the rest of the week entails, but we're already at a higher ROAS than what you were before. If things aren't going well, then don't lie. Don't try and find a win for the sake of finding a win. If things aren't going well, then you have bigger problems here, and you probably want to book a call with the client to figure out what's going on. But if things are going well, then on the first call that you have with them post the relationship engagement, go over the wins. First thing. That's the first thing you talk about is the wins that you had. You want them, the energy and the mood of the client after a week of working with you, you want it to be high. So set the expectation, set the tone, like these are the wins, this is what's working, awesome. Now let's get into the details. As time passes, just be transparent with the work you're doing. Are things going well? Great. This is what you're doing to double down. Are things not going well? Well, great. This is what you're doing to fix it. But clients They want to see iteration. They don't want to see isolation. They don't want to check the Slack account. They don't want to check the ad account and see that nothing's been done. And if nothing's been done, then nothing's been done on purpose because we're letting the account accumulate data or whatever it is. But again, iteration, not isolation. It sucks for a client who you think is a legacy client that you've been working with for 6 months. You're like, oh, communication slowed down. We're all good. I'm just doing what I'm doing, baby. And then they check the Slack account. You haven't communicated for 3 weeks. And they're like, what's going on? And they're getting hit up daily by all these people that offer the exact same service. Like, you're gonna get lost. People and clients want to feel like you're an extension of their team. They want to feel like they can actually rely on you to deliver a good service. Oh, perfect. And that's what I just said. Make the client feel like you're an extension of their team. 1 month into the relationship, and every new month into the relationship for that matter, we have 3 aspects. Things are going well, things are going okay, things are going bad, and they're about to leave. Let's start with things are going well. Ask for a testimonial. Just like I talked about earlier, now is the time to ask for a testimonial before you ask for a referral. Ask for that testimonial, then on the testimonial call, ask for a referral. This is also a great time, and I don't know what service you offer, but for us, we have a variety of services, so this would be a great time, since we've earned their trust, to upsell them on another service. Hey, I know we're doing Meta right now, but I know you also mentioned on our call that you are doing Google and it's not going super well. Let's set up an audit. Let's see how we can help there. Referrals. If you don't have other services, then this is part of you building a network. You could refer them to an agency partner or somebody that you know helps with X, Y, and Z. Hopefully you get a kickback from them. But if things are hot in a good way and things are going well, there's an opportunity for you to expand your services with this particular client. If things are going okay, they're not going great, they're not really going bad, then this is your opportunity to be a true growth partner. Be transparent with website updates, new creative, new landing page, new offer, do they need to increase their budget, etc., etc. But as a person in the service delivery, you can only build on top of the base that they've created. And sometimes before launching more cannonballs, you need to reposition the cannon to ensure that it's actually aiming in the right direction. And this is, again, the client's okay. They're not going to leave, but they may leave in a few months if things stay the same. Things aren't really going bad, but they're also, they're not super stoked with the results. But if things are going bad, it's the exact same process where this is your opportunity to be a true growth partner. If you need more time to get better results, then you could do 2 things. And again, this is under the guise. I'm not a fan of crediting them just for the sake of crediting them. This is that they're pissed off, they're about to leave, and you want to keep them. You can either credit them a month of your invoice, or you can credit them a service. I'm always going to prefer crediting them a service. And if you're running ads and their conversion rate is shit, then it's probably time to get them a website update or a new landing page. If their ads are fatiguing like crazy, then it's probably time to offer them new creatives. Or maybe their ad account's just the worst thing ever, so now you need to get an offer created. I put increased budget, and again, you're a service provider, you're an agent, I don't know what you're doing, but if things are going bad and we say hey, we just need to spend more money on ads, number 1, going to be very hard sell, and number 2, not necessarily the case. A lot of times you can lower the budget, be more efficient, then increase the spend, but that's beside the point. Whatever you need to have them do in order for your service to be more valuable, you need to bring that up. If comms are bad, go over communication expectations. If it's the client, go over the communication expectations with them. Just say, hey, Maria, can I book a call with you? We need to talk. If it's you, improve them. Duh. If you are here and you're not communicating efficiently with the client, you will get fired, or you have no business running a service agency because you need to deliver a good service. So that was onboarding. You signed the client. They're happy. You're doing a great job. This is past 3 months of delivery. This is how you continuously keep them. And I know I talked about this on the onboarding Figma that I just showed you, but you always want to treat your client like they're a prospect, like you could lose them at any time. But for the legacy clients, and a legacy client is somebody that you've been working with for over 3 years, do not get lazy. You may think that you have a legacy client and somebody that you never need to worry about, but that is almost never the case. Businesses, including yours, are an ecosystem, and they have high seasons and they have low seasons. And if their business has one bad month, this could be tax season, this could be they're in the low time of year, this could be seasonality. You need to make sure that when they look at their books, you're not the first thing that gets cut, because oftentimes you are. They're clearing out all their expenses, and if they need to be profitable and they say oh shit, this agency that's charging me $3K is, I probably could do that myself, or I don't see the value in keeping them while I'm going through this rough period in my business. You need to make sure you're not that person that gets cut. And I'll walk you through on how to not be that person and to really increase the value. But if your comms go silent, and this is what I'm talking about with being lazy. You have a legacy client. If your comms go silent in Slack, and this is with the client and with you, you may be thinking to yourself like, great, finally, this client isn't a headache. I can just do what I do best. Pause. This is an immediate red flag. You and your team need to treat this as an immediate red flag. And if their communication gets lazy, communication being from the client, then your communication is going to get lazy as well, because like, oh, well, the client didn't say anything, so I didn't really know anything was going on. I talked about this already, but to stress it even further, your client is getting bombarded daily with emails, DMs, looms every single day from agencies that offer your exact same service. And if one of those emails pique their interest during a time of year where it's not very great for them, and by the way, you sent them an email, you sent them a DM, they saw your ad, you piqued their interest at one point, and then they check the Slack channel and they see no new updates in the past 2 weeks, you're donezo, boy. You're out of there. You're chopped liver. See you later. You, my friend, need to treat your client like they're always going to leave. You need to become an invaluable resource to them that doesn't just do meta ads or whatever your service is. And one thing I've learned about running a service-based agency is that you need to have a clear system for spotting client problems before they blow up, because they're going to blow up. It's like a volcano. You don't know it's going to erupt until it's too late. And this is why we have a client issues channel in Slack. And although we try to keep this channel to a minimum in regards to seeing notifications here, it's probably the most important part of our communication flow with our clients. And the rule is very simple. If something feels off, whether it's performance, emotions, or even something happening inside the client's business that's not directly our fault, it needs to get flagged, and it needs to get flagged early. And in a service business, perception is everything. A client may be struggling financially or going through internal chaos, and none of it has anything to do with your service, your ads, your emails, your content, whatever you're doing for them. But to them, your performance is still going to feel off. And if you don't catch that early, they're going to reach out to you, or worst, they're going to just ask to pause with frustration instead of context. So I tell my team every single weekly call they have to start it by asking how the client's doing, and not only how the client's doing, but how is the overall business health doing? You're not just here to small talk. I know that's part of building rapport, but you'd be shocked about how much these people open up within these first 5 minutes if you just ask about the overall business health. They're going to tell you things that you didn't even know were an issue. And that's how you're going to get a real sense of the account health that's on a much deeper level than your weekly report metrics. And even if a client's issue isn't directly tied to your deliverables, it's still your responsibility to be aware of it. Leadership should know always if an account is even slightly at risk before the client ever says, hey, we're thinking of pausing. And the truth is that, at least for us, like a lot of these clients don't understand that our account managers usually have more experience and business perspective than they do. And I know that sounds very egotistical, but like, dude, we've worked with hundreds and hundreds of brands. We've seen what's working. We've seen what's not. We've seen your problems. We've worked with brands that are $300,000 in debt, $90,000 in debt, where it's a pure efficiency play to get them out of debt. We've analyzed businesses that have hired way too fast. They have way too big of a team, and we've consulted them on like who to let go and who to keep. That was crazy. But because we did that, this business climbed out of debt. Their Meta Ads account was efficient as hell. It got them to profitability within 6 months. So they were able to pay off that $300K debt in 6 months because of consulting that we did for the overall business health. Anyway, sometimes a client just needs a little outside perspective to get back on track, and this is going to build massive trust. So just a quick hack. I'm sure you're posting what you're doing somewhere. I'm sure you have some network of friends that are doing this, but start building a referral network of service providers that can actually solve the problem that your client's business is going through that may be outside of your scope of work. This could be like loans, bookkeeping, manufacturing, web dev, CRO, organic growth, whatever their bottleneck is. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to dramatically increase your perceived value because they already trust you enough to work with you, And if there's another issue within their business, then you can refer them to somebody that can help them with the problem they're going through. And your perceived value, like I said, it's going to skyrocket because now you're going to be their go-to guy, go-to girl, go-to team for business consulting. And when they look at their books, you're going to be so valuable that they're not even going to think about cutting you. If you're just meta ads and they're like, I could run meta ads in-house and I need to cut back, so I'm going to have to ask you guys to leave. You're going to lose the client. But if you helped consult them in regards like paying off their debt, finding a good bookkeeper, making their margins better because you have a manufacturing connection. Now, instead of it costing you $10 per unit, it costs you $5 and you maintain the quality. You're going to keep them forever because now you're a true growth partner. You're actually there as a reliable resource and you're worth the money you're charging them. And so the bottom line here is to over communicate. Don't wait for things to get bad. If something feels off, flag it, talk about it. The goal is never, ever, ever to be surprised when a client churns. And if they ever do, it should be something that we saw weeks coming in advance. We did everything in our power to keep them on. And it's just part of the game. Like, you're going to lose clients. You're going to lose clients. But you can take the steps necessary to ensure that you know about the risks when they come up and how to address them. Okay, we are on pillar 4, delivery and ops. Systemize or die. As you grow, you'll eventually hit a point where you are the bottleneck. Who, me? Yes, you're running calls, fixing deliverables, building systems, hiring people, posting content, and somehow still trying to grow the business. It's like, dude, come on, like, you're not scaling, you're just a freelancer at that point, a glorified freelancer. And the truth is, your agency can't grow past your personal bandwidth unless you systemize every repeatable process and delegate everything that isn't a high leverage activity. And I want you to think about it. So every task you touch is either $10, $100, or $10,000. $10 work, think VA stuff. This is Slack messages, scraping leads, updating sheets, CRM updates, and reporting. No disrespect to VAs. This is just VA work. $100 work moves projects forward. So this is fixing ads, editing videos, outreach, writing copy, client management, client communications. And then the 10K work, and you have to apply this to your specific scenario. But this is what creates the leverage. And you want to be doing as much 10K work as you possibly can. And this includes hiring the right person, signing the right client, improving LTV, building systems that allow the business to run without you. And if you're stuck doing $10 to $100 work every single day, your business is capped, and the pay that you're going to receive is going to be reflective of those $10 days to $100 days. It's going to be very, very hard to scale because you are the bottleneck, and that's why inside my agency, every system exists to make sure that people are operating inside of their zone of leverage. I'm a huge believer, and I talked about this earlier, but I can't stress it enough. It's better to hire one person who can do one thing exceptionally well with 100% effort rather than hire one person to do 5 things well. That's a jack of all trades, because if one person is trying to do 5 things, that's 20% focus into 5 different things rather than 100% focus into one thing. And so media buyers focus on ads, bookkeepers focus on billing and finance, client managers, they focus on relationships and retention, leadership focuses on growth, strategy, and talent. That's it. Everything else is automated, documented, delegated. And before you hire somebody else, because I know you're thinking like, oh, I got to get rid of the $10 to $100 work I'm doing. So is it a people problem? Like, is it you or the person that's working there, or is it a process problem? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a process problem. So before you hire somebody new, fix the system to help fix the chaos. And if you have a system built and you're working with somebody and they're not doing a great job, then it's obviously a person problem post you building the system. But a lot of times you don't need more people. You need a better system. And I know I mentioned that I have a team of 40. I'm not saying that to brag. It took us so fucking long, and we almost imploded like twice just because we allocated like 2 to 3 months of just building SOPs, refining. But now that we have that all built, it's literally a plug and play system where we can hire somebody, see if they're an A player within 2 weeks or not. If they're not, we let them go. And if they are, then cool, just keep doing what you're doing. And here's autonomy to go kick ass. But this is how I want you to look at this. So this is where you need to be as the business owner. The cockpit, the command center. You're the captain of your ship. You are the captain now. And I'm very sorry for that. That means having complete visibility into everything that matters. The goal for you is to literally wake up, open your laptop, check the 10 dashboards that are, sales, finance, bookkeeping, churn, LTV, client comms, everything. You just have everything figured out, you address it, and you move on. So these dashboards are going to include, finances, profitability, book calls, qualified calls, closing rate, LTV, client churn, vendor performance, client health, cash flow, ad spend, ROAS. You should know what vendors are performing, what your ad spend efficiency looks like, what creatives are fatiguing, which clients are at risk, and which ones are ripe for upsells. Again, you wake up, okay, we're clear here, okay, there's an issue here, solve it. Okay, there's a fire here I need to put out. I'm going to allocate my effort into putting out this fire. I'm going to tell this person who I hired to go put out this little fire, but I'm going to focus on the big fire. That way you can focus on the highest leverage activities possible, and you're not consistently getting pulled into all these different bullshit problems, which is why you hired people to begin with. Client dashboard. This is what we use. You should use this as well. It shows you in real time who's green, who's yellow, who's red, and green means happy client. Yellow means not bad, not good. Red means they're going to leave it any day. They're about to churn. You also need to apply this methodology to a team health dashboard. And by the way, going to the client health and also with the team health, you have a section of why they're red, why they're green, why they're yellow. And then you also have another section, what you're doing to improve that, what you're doing to ensure that they stay a green client. Same with team health. You know when to hire, you know when to promote, you know when to let somebody go. If you're thinking about letting somebody go, this is why they're red. If you're thinking about giving somebody a promotion, this is why they're green. It's super, super simple stuff, but I can't tell you, if you're updating it every day, it's really going to help your business. Same with finance and performance dashboards. You need to see exactly how profitable you are. Duh. Some people make a shit ton of money really quick. They check their books. They're negative $200,000. Don't be that guy. But you need to see what's driving profit and what's draining it, and that's why you have the performance dashboard. Also, sales dashboard. This is I'll just show you the example. We need to see everything, and I want you to be as militant and tactical about this as possible. But calls on calendar, and this is just an example, right? Calls on calendar, verbally confirmed, no-shows, canceled or rescheduled by the prospect, live calls taken, overall show-up rate, 66%. That's pretty balls. That's horrible. We could definitely increase that. Verbally confirmed. How many of these people verbally confirmed that they were going to show up? If they verbally confirmed, how many of them actually showed up? This is the confirmed show-up rate. This is the non-confirmed book calls. The non-confirmed percentage is 68. Non-confirmed show-up rate is around 65%. So we could look at data like this and say okay, if they confirm that they're going to show up, they have a 90% increase in showing up. If they don't confirm that they're going to show up, then they're only going to show up 65% of the time. So we need to allocate all of our resources to ensure that they're confirming we're doing everything in our power to get them to respond and say that they're going to show up, because they have a 90% chance of showing up versus 65 over here. And then lastly, this is offers made per day. So with this particular example, they're making 1.33 offers a day. I'm going to include this so you can just steal it. It's pretty simple, but just having something like this where, again, you can look at this dashboard and I immediately know that this is a great metric. This is a poor metric. I need to get more of this and less of this. This is what I'm talking about with the command center. Again, you want to be the pilot. You want to wake up every morning, check these 10 to 12 key metrics, and then have a complete real-time understanding of your business. And if something's off, you can catch it immediately. You don't need to wait 2 weeks later or when payroll hits to figure out that a client cancels or that you're not as profitable as you thought you were. Your systems need to be feeding you live data that's updated daily, not weekly, daily, so that you can spot bottlenecks before they become problems. And so you can make decisions fast. And again, focus on those 10K activities rather than get sucked down into the $100, $10 a day activities, because when your systems are tight, things just work and you can hire people to just fill in for you with the system. It makes your life easier. And if things aren't tight, then you're going to know, or if things aren't working, then you're going to know exactly why, because your systems are telling you what's wrong. And what's going to happen here is your clients are going to be happier, your quality is going to stay super high, and you get to stay focused on the highest leverage activities there are, because those are the ones that actually move the business forward. And at the end of the day, everybody has 24 hours. So the goal isn't to do more. You're going to be working 10 hours a day regardless. The goal is to have the exact same output as you had before, but with far more leverage. So if you're working 40 hours a week, just standard weekly work schedule, if you're working 40 hours a week on $100 tasks, $10 tasks, versus if you're working 48 hours a week on $10,000 tasks, brother, that's how you scale a business. And once everything is systemized, and it never will be, by the way, and I know it's kind of a curveball, but you're never going to SOP every single thing. We are humans. We all make mistakes. There's just, life happens. But once you get to a point where you feel comfortable with the systems you have in place, then it's time to fuel the machine. You've built the machine. It's time to fuel it. Let's get into the last pillar, hiring and leadership. So this right here is the framework I'm following that allowed me to go from 7 employees from the beginning of 2025 to now 40 plus employees in under a year. Now, once everything is built, again, assuming that you have everything built, this is my scaling framework and how I find A players 99% faster than other agencies and service providers. Okay, so here we have acquisition, we have delivery, we have hiring funnel, and then we have finding and keeping A players. So we're going to start with acquisition. Right now, we're booking around 180 to 250 calls a month. I just used 180 here to be conservative, but ads are booking us 100 calls a month. Cold email is booking us 80 calls a month for a total of 180 calls a month. If we can say that we have 100 qualified out of those 180, and I know you're thinking, Jordan, that's such a bad number. I know. We're working on it. And we can assume that we have a 20% closing rate out of those 100 qualified calls. And that means we're going to be signing 15 to 20 clients a month. And if this is predictable, and predictable meaning acquisition is predictable, then we can then look at the delivery and understand that one account manager can take on 10 clients. So if we're signing 15 to 20 clients a month, we need to be signing 2 account managers because they can take on 2 clients. That's why this is here. And how we make this math is if one account manager's, because again, everybody we hire is full-time. We don't do any part-time. So if one account manager is working with no clients or one client, then they're full-time. It's a fixed cost. We're not making any money. We're actually losing money. If an account manager can work with 2 clients, we're break even. If an account manager can work with 3 clients or more, we're then profitable. And if account manager we can fill their plate and they're working with 10 clients, we are now extremely profitable. And this is the game, is to fill as many account manager plates as possible. Our hiring funnel to find these account managers is very unique. I want you to start treating, and I don't know where you are, you don't need to hire a ton of people like me, I'm assuming. You should always, think about it this way. My goal is to work with 100 clients. You sign 100 clients. Are you going to stop outreach? No. You're probably going to have somebody churn. You're probably going to have somebody that is a pain in the ass that you want to get rid of. And you may turn down outreach because you're already at 100 clients, but you're never going to pause it. And that should be the exact same reference. That should be the exact same framework you have for hiring. And so what we're doing is we have recruiting agencies, we have LinkedIn, we have job boards, we have Upwork, we have ads, we have referrals, we have poaching. Poaching's my favorite. At the top of the funnel, where somebody is always reaching out to acquire talent. And these people get sent to a VSL. And this is another freaking banger. Please take this and use it. But our hiring funnel is exactly that. It's a hiring funnel. We have a VSL of why you should work here. I've interviewed about 5 to 10 of my employees. I've been like, look, can you just tell me what it's like to work here? What do you like? What do you don't like? And I'm not going to fire you by any means. I want to have an environment where you want to work. And they'll be honest with you. They'll say what they like. They'll say what they don't like. And if they say stuff that they don't like, then you could go and improve that. But if they say stuff that they do like, which a lot of times they will, because you've built that environment of a good company culture, then you can clip all of these examples of employees that are saying, I love it. And if you want an example, look at Carbon Box Media homepage. I've clipped all of our clients saying how much they enjoyed working with us. Same with your employees. You want to clip them saying how much they enjoy working with you, because they actually do. You want to put together a quick minute montage of just all these employees saying Carbon Box Media, it's actually changed my life. It's changed the game. I used to own my own agency. Nothing is like this. Or, oh, I'm trying to, I worked with this old agency. It fucking sucked. Carbon Box Media has made my life so much easier. Now I get to focus on what I want to focus on. You want to tell somebody, you want to sell somebody why they should work here. And that's part of having a VSL. Just like you're trying to sell a prospect on why they should book a call with you. It's the exact same process with hiring talent. We also have a form. It's 5 questions. We want to make it as easy as possible. If you've gone on LinkedIn, some of the forms they ask are fucking insane. It's 5 questions. First name, last name. So I guess that's 2 questions. Email. Have I spent over $5 million in ads in the past? They check yes or they check no. Can you drop some testimonials, case studies, other brands that are applicable to the client we serve? We serve e-commerce brands doing at least over 30K a month. And then question 5, this is the great filter. Please send a loom of you going over the above 4 questions and also tell me why you want to work here or tell me 2 fun facts about you. The loom isn't really there for them to sell you on the service that they've done. That's what, like, do I have 5 million in ad spend? Can you drop some relevant case studies? That'll do it. And on the interview question, we'll ask them to share their screen and go over the results. But the loom is there. Again, it's not that important in the way you think it is. The loom is there so we can see how they communicate. Do they have a super thick accent? Is their English not very well spoken? Why set up an interview with that person? Respectfully. Like if you hear a super thick accent that's almost, you just don't understand what they're saying, like that's who you're going to be selling to your clients. Can you picture yourself like, yes, I want this person to represent my company? If the answer is yes, fuck yeah, book a call. This person's coming on board, which is on the interview call. It's a sales call. You go over expectations, salary, not a fit or a close. Super simple. But the loom will give you a very good in-depth analysis on this person's going to be client-facing. This is how they communicate. Can I see this person representing my brand, my agency in the best way? Let me go over referrals and poaching super quick. Referrals are huge because if you have like a team of like 5 or 6 or 7 A players, just ask them. Be like, hey, do you know anybody we're looking to hire for our new Google role? Do you know anybody that kicks ass? And usually they will have come, if they're an A player, they will have come from a pretty big agency or they have had something. They would have worked somewhere previously that just allows them to have a network of other killers. And they'll say like, yeah, I worked with John back at my old agency. He's actually thinking about quitting. I'll send him a message to see if he wants a job. That's what referrals are. Ask your team before you do anything else. Referrals are going to be the best people because you're already trusting them more because one of your A players is referring them. Poaching. Find some of the big agencies. Find some of your big competitors out there. Key thing to do here is find somebody working for an agency that's posting content or go into their jobs. LinkedIn, company, people, go to people, find account specialists, see who's been working there for a while, and just ask them what their salary is. Like, hey, I see what you're doing. I like what you're doing. We're actually looking for a role right now. Do you mind if you just drop what you're making? And everybody wants to make more money, guys. Everybody wants to make more money. If they don't get back to you, they don't get back to you, but they would have never gone back to you had you just not reached out to them in the beginning. But if they do get back to you and they're like, yeah, I make X amount a year. Okay, well, if I was to increase your salary by $1,000 a month, would that make you want to come over here? And a lot of times they're like, yeah, 100%. That sounds great. And then now to make this math, instead of it costing you 2 clients for you to break even, you're paying them a little bit more, but you're getting an A player. So now instead of 2 clients, it may cost 3 clients for you to be break even. But if you get them to 10 clients, you're still extremely profitable. And the LTV with the client is going to be so much higher than trying to find these people from LinkedIn, Upwork, ads, recruiting. Like you're trying to find a diamond in the rough here. So if you can poach, super underrated. A lot of people aren't doing it. It's worth paying them more than what they're already making. And yeah, sweet. This is the last part, guys. We're almost there. Finding and keeping A players. Every A player is going to compound your profit, your retention, your morale, and your peace of mind. And you're going to know within 2 weeks if you found an A player. They don't need 90 days. It's going to be obvious, and it's going to be obvious very, very quickly. A players are going to own their outcomes. They don't wait for permission. They move fast. They find solutions. They make your life easier. They make you more money. They save you time, usually both. And if you're still having to manage them after 2 weeks, they're not it. And when we brought on our CEO, I'll give you guys a little story. When we originally brought on our CEO, he was going to be the head of the email division when we acquired our email marketing agency, our Klaviyo agency, because we were okay at email. We weren't great, so we wanted to find somebody to replace the previous head of the agency. When he came on, he took all the clients we currently had. He raised our prices. He added about 44K in MRR within 1 month. He got the email division to be more tactical and more communicative than they already were. He divided our divisions into pods. So now we're even more profitable and more tactical with our accounts. And that was in like 2 weeks. The 40K MRR took a month, but he made us like $23,000 within the first 2 weeks. He just looked at the accounts and he's like, no, we need to be charging more. And then he'd reach out to the clients and we just looked at our invoice. They're like, yes, you need to raise this price by 2K a month or 4K a month. I did nothing. We just hired this guy. And now he's our CEO. Why? Because he's fucking earned it. He's an A+++ player. And we love him. And we're very lucky to have a guy like this. But once you find them, keep them. Pay them well. Give them autonomy. Create upside. It's super important to have these SOPs, guys. But you want them to also be autonomous. These A players, they want trust, they want growth, they want clarity, and they don't want to be like, obviously you need to follow SOPs because SOPs work, but you also don't want to limit their ability to fly. They're a peacock. You got to let them fly. Oh, hopefully you get that. But you want them to grow. You want them to be autonomous, and you want to pay them well and give upside. So like our CEO and then also our COO now, I'm probably going to give them equity in my company. And I'm saying probably, I'm going to give them equity in my company. As soon as we hit the next KPI, I'm going to offer them equity. And then in the future, if I want to sell my agency, they're going to get a large piece of the pie, which makes them work harder. And so if you do truly find an A player, like, get off your fucking high horse. Like, Jeff Bezos owns like 3% of Amazon, and Elon owns like 5% of Tesla. And I'm sure those numbers aren't truly correct, but I know I'm very, very close. And they do that because they're consistently bringing on more and more talent so the business can grow and grow and grow. And another thing to think about, I'm not saying you have to give equity away right away, but like another thing to think about is your culture is going to compound, and it's going to compound either positively or it's going to compound either negatively. And A players are going to compound the momentum where they're going to lift 10 people. They're going to raise the standard for the entire company. They're going to raise the standard for what client delivery is. There may even be raising your prices and add 44K MRR within a month. But on the contrary, one B player is going to kill momentum 10 times faster than what an A player could do to fix it. So what an A player could do to grow it. And you need to really, like, I know that there's a saying, it's hire slow, fire fast. Like, fuck that. Like, hire fast, fire faster. You will know within 2 weeks if somebody's going to be an asset or a liability. And if you're trying to grow a B player, and I'll go into the mindset right here. If you're trying to grow a B player, you can only level them up one level at a time. So you can make a C plus into a B minus. You can turn a B into a B plus. You can turn an A into an A plus. But stop trying to turn a B minus into an A. It's just a waste of time. And no matter how much you like this person, again, going up to this right here, you're just killing momentum, and it's a opportunity cost for you trying to, like, well, this maybe next month, maybe next week. Oh, if I just did this, you're just losing money. You're just losing cash. Like, get that out of there. It's a disease. And I know these are people, so please take this the way I mean it. I mean, complete respect to everybody. Stop trying to turn a B minus into an A. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. You'll turn them into a B, and if you're looking for a B, that's fine. A B plus into an A minus, that's up to you, but you can SOP the workflow. You can't SOP the personality. You can't SOP the energy. You can't SOP the initiative. You can't SOP the emotional control. And again, you will know within 2 weeks if you found a killer or not. And the goal is to find as many killers as you possibly can. And your people are your product. This is what you're actually selling on these sales calls. So if you're still in sales and you have a good team, I'm sure it's a hell of a lot easier if you're like, yeah, I have Jerry on my team, I have Marcelo on my team, and that's who you're going to be working with. Oh, he's going to fucking kill it for you. Oh my God. And it translates into the sales call. Ask yourself if you're truly confident that your team can deliver an amazing service. I see memes all the fucking time on Instagram, and it's like, sure, I can help you. I definitely specialize on this. And then the caption's like, goes on Fiverr to find somebody. That's funny, I guess, but like at the end of the day, you're growing people's businesses. People are giving you their money so your business can grow. In return, you're giving them your service so you can grow their business. It's a very mutually beneficial relationship and engagement. And if you continue to do that, then you're helping each other grow each other's business. But in order to grow their business, you have to deliver an amazing service, and you need to find A players. And don't fucking outsource your job. I'm getting carried away because that meme, it honestly pisses me off. I think that's so stupid. And you're just not building a real business. And so, again, ask yourself, are you confident that your team can actually deliver an amazing service? Because that's what you're going to be selling on these sales calls. And if your team knows that you have, or if your sales team knows you have a team of badasses, your conversion rate's going to go up. You're going to close more deals. You're going to close better deals because it's just all relative. It's your company culture, right? And recruiting never ends. Always have some sort of ad live, always have the funnel live, always have a job board live. We literally have a guy every Tuesday and Thursday. All he does is interview, just so we can consistently cycle through. Be like, oh, that was a good guy. Oh, that's a potential good person we can hire. But it never ends. So guys, that is it. This is exactly how I would get to 100K to 200K a month with my agency or service business in 90 days or less. If you actually follow this and focus really fucking hard, you can do it in 90 days. Because I did. It took me 2 months with my second agency, but it took 3 years of experience to understand how to do it in 2 months. So this was my job of giving you my experience in a Google Doc and a YouTube video. Don't know how great it directly translated, but if you need help, just book a call with me. I do offer coaching and consulting, or literally just download this and just follow it. You'll make more money. And then if you do make more money and you need help on the next step of your journey, then maybe we can work together then. But no course, nothing to sell you unless it's consulting and you need help with coaching. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Appreciate you. Peace.